What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. It's on the left side here. We have Ryzeal, Fiendsmith going up against Purrely. Both XYZ decks. One of them here focuses on a monster that goes and pops numerous times a turn, while the other one summons an unaffected monster that shuffles back cards into the bottom of the deck. Which one here is going to end up winning? We do see that I believe Purrely ends up winning the die roll here. Going to have the advantage going game one. But we do see Ryzeal with a bunch of hand traps as well as the Fiendsmith cards kind of put up a board. But this is going to be a cash steer up Purrely deck with a summon out of the Unicorn. Unicorn is going to activate the effect, and we do activate a Veiler on this, not knowing what deck we are playing. And then we place down a field spell here, which is going to make it to the monsters that we do summon out, with the Purrely monsters that we special summon out this turn, are going to be not able to target with Veiler and Imperms. We're going to be seeing a copy of the Beauty activate, or whatever, the Beauty one that summons, summoning out a copy of the Purrely from the deck. Purrely is going to activate the effect, searching for a copy of My Friend. And then we do activate the effect, revealing Sleepy and I believe a Delicious, paying 500. And we do add one of those randomly to the hand here, trying to get that Sleepy so we can go up into a Baby Noir here. We're going to be seeing the effect going to be activated. We don't discard, then we activate the effect of the Sleepy just to go up into the E-Noir. And then we activate the Delicious here, chaining the copy of the Noir. But we do have a Ghost Ogre to this, going to be blowing up that that Noir, as well as we see the cards being added back by the My Friend, and the field spell going to activate, allowing us to then be able to place. And I have a feeling that Noir was still supposed to set the trap there, but we still added it anyways. I'm not exactly sure why we wouldn't still set the trap there, because it isn't a gate. But we're going to be seeing the Delicious going to activate its effects now, discarding a Beauty to go up into the Purrely once again. And we still have the double draw. We're going to be seeing the effect, adding another Delicious to the hand here. So just essentially free resources. And we do go up into the Plump. Plump can start attaching to the graveyard as well, which you are going to be seeing them attach now. And then we see the Sleepy activate the effect, and then we're going to be attaching with Plump once again, setting a card, and then we're going to be seeing another Sleepy being attached to the Plump during the end phase here with the field spell. And then we're going to a draw 2 with this, and then essentially another draw 2 when they go up into a Noir there, when it's a very fat Noir as well. So we're going to be seeing Plump can activate the effect, drawing 2 more times, and then we're going to be seeing them attach. And then we do activate the copy of Yeep, which is going to go up into the Noir once again. And we're going to be drawing 2 more cards here off of this in the standby phase. So we're going to take a second to look at our extra deck to see if we have anything that we kind of can break this. Now, when they do go first, it's going to be quite difficult to kind of beat this board. Not to mention also having a Unicorn on the field, kind of ripping their extra deck, letting them know exactly what you're playing. And we're going to be seeing Ryzeal admit defeat, not even realizing that, like, we don't want them to see our extra deck. Knowing the exact cards we're on, they don't know exactly what deck we're on at the point either. They see a Veiler and a copy of Ghost Ogre, so we just scoop it up. This is going to be just a locals match, so our opponent actually has no idea what they are playing at this time. So definitely a smart play on the Ryzeal Fiendsmith, letting them know, like, we're playing a card, you know. When you do go to locals, you get to know your player base a little bit more. But like at a regionals event, or in this case, they had no idea what they're playing against. So siding is going to be a little more difficult for them, and they can choose exactly what they want to side in going up against this deck. Now, it is Ryzeal Fiendsmith, of course, so it is like the format, or the deck to beat this format. So most likely they're going to be siding for that there. But diving into game 2, we are going to be seeing Ryzeal Fiendsmith end up going first here. And what are we going to be making? We're going to be seeing an Engraver going to activate, so leaning into that Fiendsmith package, going for a track. Track can activate, searching for a Lurie, discarding the Lurie, summoning itself out. And then we can go up into a Requiem, but we actually just normal summon the Lacrima here instead. That's going to dump another copy of Engraver. So now we can no longer normal summon Ice. We do go into the Requiem, and instead of using the Requiem effect, we go up directly up into a sequence. You know, we don't need to put the last Engraver in the graveyard. So now we're going to be seeing the sequence activate the effect, putting back all 3 for a Desiree. And then we're going to activate the effect, attaching both there. So we have 3 negates on the field, which can be useful for like the field spell, as well as My Friend Purrely, and like another one, like just a spell, or even just the monster. We just passed turn on that, though. So not having any of the Ryzeal cards at all. We're going to see a normal summon of Purrely getting hit with a copy of Valor here. Now, could this be followed up with a Talents? No, we're going to be seeing a Beauty can activate, or I should say a Pretty. I always say the one that goes into. And then it's got a Lava Golem. So playing around the Lava Golem here was very smart. Fortunately for them, I should say. A lot of times you end up on like a Duo Drive, the Desiree, as well as a Detonator. If we would have seen the Lava Golem get smacked down on the Desiree and the Detonator, that would have been pretty crazy. So playing around that was pretty smart. We're going to see the Purrely going to be activating the effect that we did summon off here, and then we do whiff, unfortunately enough. But we're going to overlay now up into a Assemble Nightingale here, which has the ability to attack directly. But is it just a bait? Take a second to read this here, okay. I mean, you have to make sure you read this correctly. They do go battle phase, and they do negate with Desiree. Makes so that it has to attack. And is that bait is the question. Can they still play through this? It's still the 3 cards in the hand. Now we have insane follow-up on the side of the Ryzeal, as well as like needing a top deck, with any Ryzeal monster being a good top deck here. We have another Purrely spell in the hand. So we are going to be seeing the Sleepy going to activate, and then we do discard a Happy to go up into another copy of Purrely, or Purrely here, because we want to be able to activate the Graveyard effect to equip to rank up. We do have a Ghost Ogre for that effect, and they just scoop it up there, realizing the game is going to be lost. They can't do anything against that. Valor Ghost Ogre has been on their hand every single game now, and it's still pretty good. So we are going to be seeing the Fiendsmith deck get the win here by just having hand traps and the Fiendsmith engine. And this is like the power of Fiendsmith itself. Like sometimes you don't even need your pure engine. Just having the Fiendsmith cards just win the game automatically for you. Alongside hand traps, of course. But every deck has hand traps now unless you're playing board breakers. So we all kind of fit into that scenario. But dive on to game 3. We are going to be seeing Purrely getting able to go first once again. And the fact that we played around that the Lava Golem is pretty slick. A lot of decks cannot play around Lava Golem lately, and they are on 2 boss monsters here, which do get hit quite hard with it. And Purrely has a way to deal with the Lava Golem quite well, being able to spin it back to the bottom of their deck, or being able to just bounce it as well. It can be attached or attach it, whatever you really want to. It's not going to be that much damage, to them having a 3,000 body in the field. We have lots of ways to kind of get rid of it these days. Before, back in the day, you really kind of didn't. But dive on to game 3. Purrely is going to be able to go first. Will we see any of those hand traps? This player is notorious for playing Dimension Fissure in their deck, preventing the monsters to be activated like Valor. And we are going to be seeing in game 3 the first card being the Dimension Fissure itself. This card's kind of crazy. And then we're going to be following up with a Pressured Planet. Are we playing Kashtira now or what? So we're going to be able to search our deck for a Fenrir or a Unicorn. Now, I know for a fact Valor's not coming down this game. We see the Unicorn being summoned out, then activate the effect, allowing us to search for a Birth, perhaps, or a Theosis. We are an XYZ deck, so it does not matter if we do search for that Theosis. Pulling a book from the Fire King deck itself, we're going to see Theosis going to activate, which is going to allow us to note the copy of Fenrir. Fenrir can then search for another copy of itself, being a free discard for any of these Purrely monsters, or just a copy of Unicorn here as well. Unicorn potentially being the better summon, it looks like. We're then going to see the field spell going to be activated for the Purrely. Then we're activating My Friend Purrely, and it looks like our hand was stacked. We're going to be paying 500 here, revealing a Sleepy, and a Pretty. Hopefully we hit the Sleepy, and we're going to then activate the effect, discarding, and he does go to the graveyard, or does get banished here because of the Dimension of Fissure. Then we go Purrely. Purrely will activate the effect, letting us add a Purrely here. Perhaps hard opening up a trap. We're going to be seeing a normal summon of a Purrely, and we do hit a My Friend, as well as a Purrely and a Purrely. We do activate the effect of the Sleepy going up into a E-Noir here. And do we have one more spell to go up into something else and attach the trap? We just set one card because we already had the trap in the hand here. And then during the end phase, we're going to be seeing the Streak going to be attaching another copy of Sleepy to the Sleepy, the Baby Noir, which can now give us a draw 4 during our opponent's turn, as well as a Dimension Fissure, a Unicorn, and a Fenrir on the field already. So we're going to see Standby phase going into draw. Then we're going to be activating the effect of the Yeep, going up into E-Noir, drawing 2 more cards, and we're going to have a pretty formidable board to kind of break. We're going to see a Bonfire going to be activated now, searching for a Ice Ryzeal here. The first Ryzeal card we actually end up seeing this whole match. Normal summoning the Ice Ryzeal, which can give us access to an X or a Sword. And then we are going to be seeing the Unicorn being activated, trying to banish face down. Do they have anything else for this, though? It'll take a second to read this. I mean, I feel like we just ripped the extra deck right now, right? That we get rid of like the Exciton Knight. But we're going to go for a Fenrir, banish the Ice face down, and then the Unicorn ripping. And we are looking through the extra deck there, and we do end up hitting a Requiem. They have the X that's getting searched off of this Sword, which can still give us access to more of those lines. We are going to go X, but we can't X under Die-Fi, unfortunately. It does send for cost. Compared to like a Purrely card that sends for effect, which is why you can see the discard getting banished instead. You know, you can't activate costs when you can't pay the cost. I mean, so you can't activate effects when you can't pay the cost of the cards. Essentially, the point of how Yu-Gi-Oh kind of is ruled. So we are looking at what we have. We have used our normal summon. We can't go X tier, and we still have Noir, which can go up into pretty much stuff. We can't even go into a Typhon because we have no other access. So they just pass turn. We're going to see Delicious being attached into the Noir there. Then we're going to go for a Unicorn for a Birth. And this is going to be pretty hard to kind of crack. We're going to go in Birth, able to bring out. And we have 5 monsters now on the field. We're going to be seeing the Happy go up into a Happiness. And this is going to essentially be an OTK. We're going to see them attack. And they do reveal double Veiler. And we see Fenrir banishing face down. And they had the X and an Ash as well. They tried to save the Ash for the trap for the E-Nor, but they had it hard already. Veilers, double Veilers here being unfortunately under the Die-Fi. And we see Purrely, I'm taking the win once again there. With Ryzeal, unfortunately not opening the best there at all. When we have Die-Fi to kind of play around that. And the Ash just being not able to. You do save it for the trap. You know, obviously you want to be able to stop the trap being added. But unfortunately, they had it already in the hand. So how long did you just get luck like that? Regardless, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.